do better than this. It is your opening act of the night, Mr. Luke Steiner.
Come on, guys, give me that love. How are we doing, Kingston? We well? Yes. I said, are we well? Yes. Sick. Let me check that again. Give me a cheer if you're single. Give me a cheer if you're in a relationship. You bastards. Man, I hate the relationship people. They're fucking everywhere. Because I'm 39 and single, so what that means is all my friends are married with kids, and like it's getting quite patronising now. I was at my friend's the other day, and she was like, "Are you seeing anyone at the moment?" I was like, "No, I'm not." No. She was like, "Oh, are you okay?" Fuck off. But is it good being in a relationship? Yeah, well, tables turn there, didn't they? Because relationships are hard, man. I find them difficult. Like the last girl I was with, like she spoke about her ex so much, even I started to fucking miss him. Honestly, like, I knew his name, his job, his sister played netball. Shut the fuck up. Drive me nuts, man. But my mates, they do their best, but they try and set me up in the worst ways as well. Like my mate called me up like 2 weeks ago. He was like, "Yo," he was like, "You free Saturday?" I was like, "I am free Saturday." He goes, "Right, amazing. We're going to go to this house party. Going to set you up with someone. It's going to be awesome." I was like, "Sick." I was like, "Whose house party are we going to?" He goes, "Right, it's my son's 4th birthday." I was like, are you kidding? And he went, "No, it'd be a chance for you to meet some new people." I was like, "What the fuck?" So obviously I went. Like I was hoping to meet some single mums that wanted to make some bad life choices. Like I'm there for that. Do you know what I mean? But the problem is though, mums are boring. So boring. All they do is talk about their kids. It's like, oh God, leave it out. Like one woman, like she called me over. I was having a chat with someone. She went, "Luke, come here. I was like, "What do you want?" She was like, "This is my son Seb. He's only 6, but he's got a reading age of 7. So, I was like, "How much reading do you think he's going to do when he discovers porn and weed?" Like, judge him when he's an adult, right? But she wasn't alone. Everyone there, it was so strange to me because every parent there thought their kid was wonderful, which just blew my mind, right? Because I looked at all of these kids and I just thought, no one here is growing up to be anything special. Like, you're right, you didn't see them yet, right? One bumped into a wall, right? They were eating crayons. Right? There were no record breakers in this group. Like, they were fucking useless, right? And also as well, in my defence, like in the whole of human history, there's probably been about like 3 special people, right? Gandhi, Ian Wright, like that's it, right? No one there was going to be as good as Wrighty, just no chance whatsoever. But what I did draw solace in is a lot of these parents are like new age families, so they're against vaccines, so I thought, well, half of these kids are going to get wiped out anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like one of the mothers like, "Oh, well, we don't know it's in those chemicals, do we, Luke? We don't know. Our children aren't lab rats." I was like, "No, that's why they do experiments on actual lab rats. Like, it's not a national conspiracy to kill the children, not especially these useless fuckers. Like, we're fine, right?" She's like, "Well, you'd feel different if you had your own children." I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "I was a kid once and I was vaccinated, so I don't think that would change my mind." And this was her saving point, right? She goes, "Well, I tell you what, Luke, I know my kid won't develop autism when he gets older." I was like, "No, he's going to be dead with measles by the time he's 5. That's what's going to happen." But you're there and you're sort of drinking a bit more and you're stuck there talking to them. People are talking about what they've watched on Netflix recently. And one of the mothers went, she was, "Have you watched the Jimmy Savile documentary?" I was like, "No, of course not." Sounds awful. She goes, "Honestly, it's so bad, it's disgusting." She goes, "I hate paedophiles. You never meet anyone who hates paedophiles more than me." Fucking weird thing to say. I've never met anyone who likes them. And she goes, "What we need to do to prevent that kind of thing from happening again," she goes, "Mums, we need to have access to the sex offenders register." I said, "What the fuck?" I said, "How would that stop Jimmy Savile? You all knew who he was. It wouldn't stop anything." Lunatic. He was on telly doing it. Like, what the fuck? And she goes, and again, that annoying thing. She goes, "Oh, well, Luke, you'd feel differently if you had your own children." Right? And I looked at her kid, right? And he was sat there in a high chair eating Wotsits with a knife and fork. And I thought, oh, I think you'd be all right. But after a few Prosecco's, they get like a little bit political as well. And like one of them went, oh, what do you think of the cost of living crisis? When I think it's bad. I thought, well, obviously, what else is there to say? She goes, no, obviously it's bad. She goes, but what do you think will happen? I was like, I don't know. If people can't pay their bills, like it could increase homelessness. She goes, no, that won't happen. I was like, fucking, why'd you ask? She's going to argue with me, right? And she goes, no, that won't happen. She goes, homelessness is a choice. That would never happen to me. I was like, look, I said, that doesn't quite work like that. I said, let me tell you this, right? This happened to me 6 months ago, right? I was out in the street and I caught eyes with this homeless lady, and I realised it was someone I used to work with like 18 years ago. I used to work in a sports bar. And I was like, fucking hell. I was like, well, how you doing? She goes, oh, look how are you? So I sat down with her. We had a chat for about 10 minutes, talking about old times and that kind of thing. And at one point she goes, have you got any money? I was like, yeah, I've got like 20 quid. So I handed it to her, and she went like broke my heart a little bit. She went, oh, how can I get it back to you? And I was like, don't, it's yours. Like, you don't have to. So I gave her a big hug and sort of left her to it. And like, but that just shows you that could happen to anyone, because we used to have the same job. And she went, you know, you really shouldn't give money to the homeless. I was like, why? And she went, oh, she's just going to spend it on drugs and alcohol. I was like, that's how everyone spends their money. I didn't think she was going to put it in an escrow. Does that make sense? I don't know what an escrow is. Oh, I'll cut that bit next time. It's alright, I still got a laugh, I'll rescue it. But the thing is, like, being single, like, I don't know how to meet people as well, and that's the thing, but like, yeah, but I don't know what I was going to say. Yeah, I don't know how to meet people, but sometimes you can meet women doing this, right, bizarrely. And like, I was in Edinburgh last year, and I was doing a show, and there was a girl in the front row just on her own. And we went for a drink afterwards, and they were getting on quite well. And like, the more drunk she got, like, the more forward she was getting, and she was going, oh, in bed, I really enjoy being dominated. I was like, oh, good. That sounds lovely. And she goes, I'm a little bit kinky as well. I was like, what do you mean as well? Like, I got that from the domination, right? And she goes, no, in bed. She goes, I'm really into this thing called family play. She goes, do you know what that is? I was like, oh, yeah. I had no idea what she was talking about. So I did what anyone else would do. I nipped off to the toilet and I Googled it, right? Does anyone here know what family play is? Right. It's not good. What it is, right, is when you're having sex with someone, you pretend the other one's a sibling. Yeah, I did say it wasn't good. I warned everyone here. That's not my fault, right? So I read that on my phone and I was like, ah. Well, I guess that's what we're doing then. So we go back to where I was staying and we're having sex and whatnot, and at one point she goes, right, choke me. I was like, oh. I was like, really? She goes, yeah. I was like, fucking not another one. Like, I hate doing that. Right? It's not fun. Like, I'm always worried I'm going to kill him. This whole thing of paranoia comes to my head, so I don't do it properly. Something like that, kind of really rubbishy way of doing it. Is that alright? Is it like that? And she's going, right, like, pull my hair, spank me, make me come. I'm like, I've not learned how to drive it. There's a lot going on. So I'm doing my best, right? I'm like, pulling her hair and stuff, right? And at one point she goes, right, I want to do family play. Which I later realised meant that she just wanted to call me daddy, yeah? But I got so confused with all these instructions that I just pretended she was my mum. So I'm like pulling her hair and stuff, right? And she goes, I want to do family play. So I just went, why did you leave when I was a kid, Mum? I was only 9. Yeah. It's my life. But, like, I'm all surprised how young girls are when I'm talking to them. That sounds really bad. That's not what I meant. Because like I said, because I'm 39, so I assume everyone's my age. When someone's younger, I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? I realise I'm getting older, but I'm very aware now that I'm kind of middle-aged. And I was saying this to my friend as well, and he was like, dude, he goes, I'm exactly the same. He goes, I've got no idea how old anyone is. He goes, I was out recently, right? And he goes, and this girl pulled up next to me. He goes, she was being really flirty, chatty. He goes, she seemed really keen. He goes, well, I had no idea how old she was. He goes, I thought I just had to kind of leave it. I was like, bruv, I said, like, if she's pulling up to you in a car, like, she's at least 17, but, like, you definitely should be trying to bang a 17-year-old, right? He went, no, she wasn't on a car, she was on roller skates. Nah, man. She was too young. Guys, that was so much fun. I've been Luke Stephen. Good night, God bless.
Oh, I'm only 38. I feel good about this now. Right.